People are going to grow when they're ready to grow. Either they'll come with you or they won't. That's not for you to decide. If you grow up, right, you're going to lose people in your life for a variety of reasons. And that's okay. Be appreciative of when you had them and why you had them, but move on, because that means that there's space now for other goodness to come in. Hey, y'all. I am here. Happy Wednesday. I hope everyone's having a lovely day, a lovely week. It's been a little crazy for me for a variety of reasons. Nothing to worry about though. So, mostly because I'm super excited about getting a bunch of new shit together for y'all. It's going to come out in January. And so I've been like overwhelming myself more than anything. How many of you can relate to that, right? Working to get ahead and try to be ready for everything is more stressful than just doing the thing itself. So, but that has directly to do with what we're going to be talking about today. And that is this idea of shit, what happens when I've grown? I've grown so much that now I don't seem to fit into my life. And, you know, we can see this. I'm talking about this from the perspective of, and I'll show Instagram and I'll pop it over here, of the Seven of Pentacles. So now, first off, sevens are, you know, I like to try to educate, not just give you my opinion on things, and try to explain to you why this makes sense to me. So sevens are really about the knowledge, right? Assessing where we are, using the knowledge of how we've learned new things, what we're doing that's new, and using that to help us reflect on both where we've been and where we need to go forward, right? And then when you add in Pentacles, Pentacles is about, again, the tangible things in our lives. So whether it's our money, right, our businesses, what we spend our money on, or our home life as well, right? So things that kind of give us comfort. So for me, you know, when this card came up in the 5-card spread this week, and if you haven't watched it, you can check out the full video as well, so that you can see the other cards that came up for us this week. But I've had so many conversations with people in the last month or so around this issue of like, I don't know what's happening. I've been working on myself. I've been working to grow in the ways I thought I needed to grow and I thought I wanted to grow. And I don't seem to fit anymore. Like, people around me are different somehow, or either not accepting who I am, or not happy about who I am, or, you know, a variety of those different types of things. And the answer is, in most circumstances, your growth is yours. The things that you have been striving towards, the ways that you've been growing, no one else is on your path. That's just you. That's your growth. And there are people in your life who are going to have their own growth that is similar, that's kind of plodding along with you on your similar track. But there are going to be lots of people who are not in a growth state, who are not in a space that they are improving themselves in the same ways that you are not connecting to themselves and learning more about who they are. They're not there at the same time that you are, right? And so the discomfort that you're feeling, that dissonance, right, is because you have grown in a way that they have not, right? If you look at even the image in this card, you see, you know, someone watering this plant, and there's like a couple of different offshoots of that, and there's this growth. Well, I could plant something right next to this, right next to the one in this image, and water it the same and have crystals the same and have the, what I think is the similar situation. And my trees are going to look a little bit differently. Right. And I might feel some kind of way about, well, how come my trees aren't growing as much as your trees are? Or maybe I haven't even planted anything. But yet I'm now saying, like, you think you're fancy now because you planted this plant? You got these trees growing? None of those issues that someone else has with your growth or their lack of growth has anything to do with you. Okay, I really want you to hear that. Your growth is about you. And however someone else feels about that is theirs. It's not yours. You cannot allow yourself to stop growing, to stop watering yourself, to stop, in this instance, there's crystals and things in the pot. You can't find ways to keep growing. You can't stop doing that because someone else isn't growing along with you, right? Because even your partners, right? Many people, a couple of people I've spoken to are feeling this disconnect from a partnership, right? Whether it's, an intimate partner or good friends, are starting to feel like, wow, I don't know what's happening, but like my friend circle feels weird, feels different, feels like maybe that's not really the place for me. And it's okay for you to say to yourself and to others, but to yourself, that, you know what, I'm not there anymore. I'm in a different place, right? These people I've had in my life who are my friends who, maybe we've shared all kinds of things together. They're not where I want to be, right? The way that I want to show up in the world looks different than how they want to show up in the world. And that's okay. It doesn't make them wrong because they're not growing on the same path that you are. It doesn't make you better or worse. It just means that everyone is different. Everyone is growing in the ways that they need to, hopefully. And if you've been doing the work, it means it's working. If you're seeing the world differently, if you're starting to be able to understand the difference between what's good for you, what feels good for you, and what doesn't, then that's great. That means you're learning. That means you're growing. Keep doing that. You can't stop because other people aren't there yet. You can't wait for other people, right? And I've seen posts, different motivational people, and that kind of, I want to say, kind of knock who, like, well, if they're not growing like you are, you know, that's their problem, that, like something's wrong with them. No, you discovered in yourself that it was time for you to grow in a particular way. You spent time working on yourself, growing whatever parts of yourself felt really important, and you have to keep doing that. And if someone isn't there yet, you can encourage them. You can be a shining example for them, is really how I kind of look at it. You can be an example for them, but you can't make them start on their own journey. You can't give them the key to what's going to get them to move, right? Even for me, I struggled with the idea of coaching, that label of coaching, because it means so many things to so many different people. And yes, I feel like there is coaching, certainly, that I do, but it really is more about guidance, right? There isn't a formula that I can give to you that's going to work for you and for this one and that one and for 100 people. Though people sell it that way, like, here's the 5 steps to doing X, Y, and Z. I mean, there's a general outline of things that might be helpful, okay? But nobody knows you and what you need to move forward. Nobody knows that but you, right? How many times have you heard someone give some good advice and it's like, yeah, I hear it. Okay, whatever. And then somehow somebody says the exact same thing to you 2 months from now, and you're like, shit, I get it, right? It's the same thing. People are going to grow when they're ready to grow. That's got nothing to do with you. There's nothing you can do but say, hey, I support your growth. When you're ready, if I can help, great. So it's really important, and why I really wanted to talk about this now is because we're getting to the end of the year. People are wrapping things up, especially when it comes to business and, ending out the year, wrapping up this, fourth quarter. And again, I really feel like so many people that I've been talking to have been working really hard. They've been working in really different ways that they haven't before, and they have felt it. They felt it within themselves that there is growth happening, right? There is movement that's happening, and they are feeling good about who they are, and they're feeling stronger about the choices that they're making. But then there's this wall that they kind of hit, this emotional wall that they hit with the people in their lives that makes them question if I'm just fooling myself. Am I just fooling myself that I'm doing good, that I'm growing, that these have been the right choices because other people around me don't seem to be doing the same thing? Don't worry about them. Either they'll come with you or they won't. That's not for you to decide. You are freaking amazing. The work that you're doing to make yourself better and stronger is, I'm sorry, my notifications are on. The work that you're doing to make yourself stronger and better, I mean, it's shining through. You're feeling it, right? And if other people can't see that or are not ready to see that or hear that, it's okay. They're not meant for you right now. And I know that it's, some of the hard part of this is that there are going to be people in your life that you lose. And we've talked about this recently. There are going to be people, you're going to lose people in your life, right? If you grow up, right, you're going to lose people in your life for a variety of reasons. And that's okay, right? Be appreciative of when you had them and why you had them. But move on, because that means that there's space now for other goodness to come in, right? For other people who are going to help you continue to grow and continue to move to the next level. And that's the goal, right? That we keep moving on to more and more and more goodness for ourselves, right? And whoever we can help along the way, that's amazing. Do that, right? But your first job is you. It has to be you. It's not your partner. It's not even your kids, right? I know I'm going to hear some flack about this, but if you don't have your shit together, you cannot help to guide and shape someone else. You just can't. Not in a real substantial way, right? You got to feed them, right? Feed your kids. But you have to make time for yourself. You have to recognize your greatness and continue to grow it. Continue to be better and more amazing, right? And fitting in, it's an overrated quality. And I had a few people who wrote into me about, well, I never really wanted to fit in, so it's not a big deal for me. Okay, great, great. Then this topic is not for you. But most of us, to some degree, strive to fit in, right? Whether it's within a community or a club or certain groups. And there's nothing wrong with fitting in. There's nothing wrong with finding your people who are going to support you and help you to grow. That's amazing. But if you currently are around who don't fit that category, you really have to be honest with yourself and with them and say, hey, you know what? This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm really proud of. This is what I want to keep doing more of. Are you with me? Right? And then let them make the choice to be with you or not, because you're going places. You're doing amazing shit and you can't stop for anyone. Right? So I think that's it. Next week, and I'll post a little bit more about this, but next week is going to be the last live for the year. I think I'm going to take off that final week between Christmas and New Year's, and that way I can finish wrapping up everything that's going to be happening in January. So keep an eye out for those things. So next week will be the finale, the 2021 final live for us. So I don't know, maybe I'll bring balloons or like a party hat or something. So I hope that you can join me there and ask any questions. or anything that you have. I will also remind you, as always, let me move this and add this in. I'm also going to remind you of 2-Minute Tarot, where you can ask me a question. I will pull a card for you and send you a video about 2 minutes long with a quick response. Now, I'm going to give you a heads up that the 2-Minute Tarot is going to go away in 2022. Right? You always have the opportunity to send me a message if you have a question, if I can help you in some way. Of course, that's never going to change. But these 2-Minute Tarot specifically, as an offering, if you will, is going to go away the end of the year. So get your questions in now, right? When you can get this quick and fast and free little nudge in the right direction. So take advantage of that. Let me know how you're growing. Let me know what's changing for you. Let me know about the shiny new pot that you want to plant your new self into. I want to hear all about it. So I'll talk to everyone soon. All right. Stay magical, y'all.